and good day. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz from eTurboNews, and this is a breaking news update. For more news updates and shows, please go to youtube.com/travel news group. youtube.com/travel news group. Here's our update.
2022 Most Generous Cities in the USA. The baseball team isn't the only saintly thing in the Twin Cities. Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota, truly embody the meaning of neighborly. As we enter the season of giving thanks and helping those in need, many of us are working and earning more, but the pandemic continues to make life difficult for millions of Americans. In fact, nearly 20 million adults live in households that did not get enough to eat, and 12 million adult renters are behind on rent, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. Thankfully, many Americans are stepping up to help those in need. But what are 2022's most generous cities? Analysts compared 130 of the biggest U.S. cities across 13 key indicators of philanthropic behavior, from charitable giving to volunteering rates to the number of food banks, even the number of individuals who converted their little free library into a food-sharing box for hungry neighbors. See the 20 cities reaching the deepest into their hearts and pockets below. 2022's most generous cities. Rank City 1 Minneapolis, Minnesota 2 Seattle, Washington 3 Portland, Oregon 4 New York 5 Baltimore, Maryland 6 Washington, D.C. 7 St. Paul, MN 8 Indianapolis, Indiana 9 Vancouver, Washington 10 Chicago, Illinois. Rank City 11 Boston, Massachusetts 12 St. Louis, Mo 13 Denver, Colorado 14 Milwaukee, Wisconsin 15 Cincinnati, Ohio 16 Salt Lake City, Utah 17 San Francisco, California 18 Houston, Texas 19 Detroit, Michigan 20 Tacoma, Washington. Highlights and lowlights. The most selfless Twins, the baseball team isn't the only saintly thing in the Twin Cities. Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota, truly embody the meaning of neighborly. Minneapolis landed in first place both overall and in the individual generosity category, while St. Paul finished not far behind in seventh place. Not only are the residents of these cities the most giving of their time, both number one for volunteering rate, but they also make sure to serve hungry community members with hot meals. Minneapolis ranked number 6 and St. Paul number 8 in soup kitchens. They also ranked number 3 and number 13, respectively, in sharing box locations that locals set up for their food-insecure neighbors during the pandemic. Mr. Rogers would have had a beautiful day in these neighborhoods. Bigger cities, bigger needs. Bigger cities generally performed better in the ranking than smaller and mid-sized cities. That's because big cities tend to focus on maximizing their collective impact more than their individual contributions. In fact, America's 3 biggest cities, New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles in that order, dominated our community generosity metrics. Houston, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C., also placed in the top 10 of this category. With increasing economic inequality, these big cities demonstrate that generosity tends to sprout where it's needed most. Florida falls by the wayside. Florida sent 4 cities to our bottom 10, including Hialeah in last place overall. Jacksonville, no. 45, and Orlando, no. 58, are the only 2 Sunshine State cities to crack the top half. In the individual generosity category, multiple Florida cities tied for last place in 4 out of 6 metrics and only barely escaped last place in the other 2. Their performance in community generosity wasn't any better, either. The number of animal shelters was the only metric out of 7 total in which a Florida city didn't rank in the bottom 10 or tie for last place. If you've fallen on hard times, don't head to many Sunshine State cities looking for help, but rest assured your 4-legged friends will find a home.
Thank you for listening to our news update. There's more on youtube.com/travel news group, or you can read us, of course, in going to our news portal at eTurboNews.com or travelnews.online.